A Somali man goes on camera and he claims in a very chilling way that the partial takeover of the United States is already complete. And now they're moving on to phase 2, a total takeover of America. He says his only regret in this whole process is that President Trump may not live long enough to actually see it happen. But he says, don't worry, Trump's children will witness the dark day in history. If that doesn't chill you to the bone, this will. A woman who actually grew up in an Islamic household is now warning Americans that we are on a dangerous path if we keep allowing these people who hate this country to stay here. Like this video so this warning reaches as many people as possible, and subscribe if you're new here. Welcome. This is a moment America cannot ignore. Now, before we get to that terrifying video, let's talk about the family of the man now running political cover for all of this. Tim Walz's daughter has officially entered full meltdown mode over people insulting her family online. Now look, I don't condone slurs ever, but you don't get to stage a moral emergency over mean words when your own father called ICE the Gestapo, labeled Trump a Nazi, said MAGA should be bullied, and even suggested it was time to be a little meaner. So let me get this straight. When they do it, it's righteous activism. When it's done back to them, it's the end of civilization.
No, I'm talking about this because while my family and I are always going to be the bigger people, the president calling my dad what he did has unleashed a storm regarding like offensive language towards me and my family, and specifically my brother. You can call me whatever you want. You can call my dad, my mom. When it's Gus, to the no. To the no. He dealt with people calling him that last August, and now there's a resurgence. And no, how is it okay that the president of the United States can call somebody, anybody, doesn't matter who they are, that, and then all of his freaking cult members come and attack those people and that person's family? Say what you want about my dad. He's an elected official, right? Like that's gonna happen. I think it's utterly disgraceful that the president would do that. But then the attacks that I have seen, I have people DMing me saying absolutely horrendous things. When I was home last week, somebody drove by and screamed that we were R words, just driving by in their car. I'm like, what world are we living in?
You know, a lot of Minnesotans are actually asking that very same question right now, thanks to your father's leadership, or should I say lack thereof. Now, speaking of not tearing people down, let's remind everyone what her father thinks about that.
Elon's on that stage, jumping around, skipping like a dip on these things. You know it.
Oh, so that's fine. All right, got it. She won't say the R word, but it's okay for him to call people names, mock them, and publicly humiliate them. I mean, what world are we living in where that counts as leadership? Political theater, though, it sure seems to run in the Walz family.
Bye-bye, Donald Trump. We are turning the page. 52 days and we are turning the page. 52 days and it is bye-bye, Donald Trump.
America turned the page, all right, and said no thank you to Tim Walz and Kamala Harris. I mean, hopefully Minnesota has learned the lesson and votes differently in the next governor's race. But the most disturbing thing today, let's get back to the Somali man posting a video claiming their partial takeover of America is complete. And now they're working on the full takeover. According to him, Americans don't even have the right to this land.
My biggest fear in life is that this man may never witness our full takeover. Yes, he may never witness that. He already witnessed our partial takeover, our little success in America. He's old and sick, I know. He may not witness our full takeover, but I promise you that his sons will witness. Just like him, we came to exist in this country. See? The land of free men, the land of opportunities. Tell me how you own this land. Explain to the world how this land became your land. Tell the world.
What more proof does the left need before they finally get serious about deporting illegal immigrants who openly hate America? These are the people the left is fighting to protect and keep in the United States. People who don't love our country or its founding principles. He should be deported. Full stop. And speaking of the Somali community, the news just keeps getting worse for Ilhan Omar and the Minnesota fraud scheme. Did you hear this? It is now being reported that she filed legislation that led to the $250 million being defrauded. She also held events at one of the restaurants named in the fraud case And she had a former staffer convicted in the fraud investigation. 60 of the 79 people indicted in this are from her 5th congressional district there in Minnesota. Seems to be an awful lot of links, so I'm guessing she had to have known something, right? She should be fully investigated, and deportation should not be off the table. Now, after all, we know Ilhan Omar, she never misses a chance to trash America, the country she lives in, benefits from, and has zero plans to leave. Yet she constantly praises Somalia, the country she fled, and tellingly refuses to return to. So let's inject a little reality. I want you to listen to this woman. She grew up in an Islamic household, wore the hijab, attended mosques, lived under those exact norms, and now she's done watching Americans be gaslit about life in Somalia. This isn't theory, this is lived truth.
So for starters, United States listed Somalia as a level 4 risk. It's the highest level of advisory. Do not travel there. They're saying it's high crimes, high terrorism, don't forget kidnapping and piracy. Also, forgive me for my pronunciation, but Al-Shabaab conducts terrorism attacks, bombings in Mogadishu. So that's Somalia. Organized crime is very prevalent. It's a hub for human trafficking, illicit network. Oh yeah, and we can't forget in Somalia, there's weak governance. They have poor law enforcement, and also some areas are heavily restricted and governed by Sharia law. Human trafficking, arms trafficking, sexual violence, piracy. Shall I go on? And it is a fact, not an opinion or a feeling. It is an objective fact. It's one of the most dangerous countries in the entire world. Obviously, not all Somalis are pirates or all these other criminals, right? But when you have a large portion of people doing something and you bring that over to another place, chances are it's going to continue. Never in the history of ever have I seen a third world country come to a first world country and the first world country get better and improve when they don't assimilate, which we see so often within their religion.
America runs on freedom, the rule of law, and personal responsibility. Those are the house rules. When you move into somebody's house, you don't redecorate. You don't get to rewrite the rules and then complain about how things used to be done back home.
If you guys love your country so much, go back to those countries. Stop bringing your values and beliefs to another country and expecting other people to conform to them.
She's right. We can respect different cultures, foods, holidays, absolutely everything. But you don't come to the greatest country on earth and ask it to become the place everybody was trying to escape. That's not how this works. Now, Stephen Miller, he tried to make that exact point, and Ilhan was asked about his statement while on her CBS sympathy tour. Watch her quickly pull out her freshly laminated race card.
Stephen Miller said, on Thanksgiving Day, he posted, "No magic transformation occurs when failed states cross borders. At scale, migrants and their descendants recreate the conditions and terrors of their broken homelands." What do you make of this argument of failure to assimilate and sort of ruining America? How do you understand this?
I mean, when I think about Stephen Miller and his white supremacist rhetoric, it reminds me of the way the Nazis described Jewish people in Germany.
Apparently, it's perfectly fine to call a Jewish man a Nazi, because expecting immigrants to assimilate to American society and adopting American values apparently reminds Ilhan Omar of Hitler. If she wants to talk about violent extremists, she doesn't need to reach across the globe. She can start right in her own backyard. We have a man from Somalia living in Minneapolis accused of kidnapping and raping women, some of them minors. Another story? A high-ranking Somali official arrested and accused of torturing and killing people. And here's another contribution they're making to our society. Somalians are the second largest population on food stamps. That is a massive drain on the system. On top of all that, there's the massive Minnesota fraud scheme where Somalians stole taxpayer dollars to enrich themselves. In fact, today, Senate Majority Whip and Foreign Relations Committee member John Barrasso, he confirmed it was all intentional.
Apparently, they were trying to sign up so many people they ran out of names. So went to a website, www.randomnames.com, to make up names. And the money was so big, we understand that some of it went to buy BMWs, Mercedes-Benz. Some of it even went to buy real estate overseas.
These people knew exactly what they were doing. And of the 87 charged, all but 8 are of Somali descent. When CNN's Margaret Brennan asked Ilhan Omar yesterday why this fraud was allowed to get out of control, instead of taking responsibility, Ilhan played the victim, claiming Somalis themselves were hurt by the fraud.
I want to say, this also has an impact on Somalis because we are also taxpayers in Minnesota. We also could have benefited from the program and the money that was stolen. And so it's been really frustrating for people to not acknowledge the fact that we're also, as Minnesotans, as taxpayers, really upset and angry about the fraud that has occurred.
Hard to play the victim when $1 billion meant for hungry kids vanished under your watch. Now, something else I want to address, this one in reference to President Trump. I might have used different words when he called Ilhan Omar garbage, but he has a point. Somalia is a dangerous country, and we absolutely don't want any of that imported into the United States.
We're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage.
But here's the kicker. Celebrities and Tim Walz rushed to defend Somalis from being called garbage. But if memory serves me correct, those same people never denounced Joe Biden calling millions of Trump supporters the exact same thing. Garbage.
I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
The selective outrage is staggering. And piling on is Minnesota's Attorney General, who is now openly threatening to have local law enforcement arrest ICE agents simply for enforcing federal immigration law. A clear attempt to undermine the rule of law. This isn't just political theater. It's a deliberate signal that the state will shield illegal immigrants, including those involved in fraud or criminal activity. And they're basically shielding them from accountability, something the rest of us all have to face. Once again, the left is prioritizing political optics and protecting lawbreakers over the safety and security of everyday Americans.
Should the police officers be, arresting ICE?
ICE agents will observe the requirements of the law, and that and that they will know that we're not going to stand by and let them break the law. And if everybody does what is within their purview and jurisdiction to do, we'll be all better off.
Arresting federal agents for doing their job, by the way, that's a crime, and he knows it. That's why this is pure political theater, something the left has perfected. Lots of outrage, zero results. A perfect example of that, Democrat Representative Adelina Grijalva. She claimed that ICE agents pushed and pepper sprayed her. But guess what? The video has come out, and the truth is not on her side. In fact, it was her own team who shoved her out of the way, not ICE. And yet the narrative ran wild, proving once again that for some, perception matters more than reality. Take a look for yourself.
Watch out, watch out. Hey, put it down! Put it down! Get out of the way. You guys need to clear now.
What is it going to take for Democrats to start being honest with the American people instead of staging these ridiculous stunts that accomplish absolutely nothing while putting everyday Americans at risk? Governor Pritzker of Illinois also adding to the chaos with this alarming revelation today. Listen to this.
New report now on sanctuary policies in the state of Illinois. Immigration and Customs Enforcement saying that Governor Pritzker is overseeing the release of more than 1,700 dangerous criminal illegal aliens since the 20th of January, including murderers, pedophiles, and kidnappers, sending them back into neighborhoods and putting American lives at risk.
Minor detail on Fox's graphic there if you caught it. It said the 1,700 have been released since 2020. It's actually since January of this year during Trump's second term. So let that sink in. The only logical conclusion to this? Democrats are willing to do whatever it takes to maximize votes and stay in power, even if it means putting dangerous criminals back on the streets and threatening the lives of innocent Americans. And of course, it's never a problem for top Democrat officials. They are all protected by security while everyone else takes the risk. Up next, Rachel Maddow and Joe Biden, they actually go full MAGA over the narco-terrorist boat controversy. And Ilhan Omar, she panics on live television when Jake Tapper presses her about the fraud in Minnesota. You can click on that video you see now on your screen, and I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching today. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.